What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp here for the Wrestling Inc. podcast, May 2nd edition, brought to you by ddpyoga.com/Wrestling Inc. and trendybutler.com. I am joined here by Wrestling Inc. founder Raj Giri and, of course, Vince Russo. Guys, before we get into tonight's Raw, there was a bit of news that broke towards the end of Raw. It appears as if Ryback and the WWE have come to some sort of a contract dispute. And depending on which side or which story is to be believed, either Ryback was sent home or he asked to be sent home. Raj, you've basically covered Ryback's entire career. Your thoughts on this and what could happen if he doesn't re-sign with WWE?
Well, it's clear he's been frustrated. And you know, the one thing that WWE talent knows is when they do interviews is not to talk bad about the company. And Ryback went and did that. So, I mean, it showed that he was nearing his breaking point. And, you know, he hasn't been used well. They've been very inconsistent with him for a long time. So, you know, I could see him being a big player in New Japan. So, you know, I think that could be a really good move for him.
I mean, they hired Camacho. Granted, he is the brother of Tama Tonga who works there. Vince, your feelings on this new breaking news? Ryback and WWE may be done.
Yeah, no, when you were telling me, Sean, yesterday about that message that he wrote on his belt or whatever the case may be, I mean, I found that rather shocking. So this, for him to do something like that, this comes as no surprise to me whatsoever.
He knew how to make a few headlines before he got out, though, if that is the case.
Yeah, he was impersonating CM Punk, before his match yesterday, and it was clear with that belt that, he wasn't happy with where he was. So
I got to tell you what, though, I mean,
Lucha Underground could, make him a killer heel too. So
I mean that tells you all those little things, Raj. I mean, that tells you like the guy's got a personality. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. For him to do all those things, number one, it takes balls. And number two, I mean, it's pretty creative. So, I mean, the guy does have some kind of personality. I know how things work at the WWE. He must, all he had to do was rub one person the wrong way and one person did not like him, and, like, that's it for your career. So, I mean, I would think it would be a good move for him.
Yeah.
Raj, you mentioned he could make a big splash in Lucha Underground. The first person he'll draw comparisons to is Brian Cage, who is more impressive inside the ring, but if you sat Ryback and Cage next to each other, the size comparison, it really isn't even close. Ryback would tower over Cage. So it'll be interesting to see where he winds up because he's an excellent hand.
Yeah, it would be interesting. I mean, if he did sign with Lucha Underground, I mean, we don't know about a season 4 yet. When it does happen, we'll have a new president. It's like so far in the future that if he does sign, we won't see him for a while. So. Yeah, we'll have to. He's he's an opposing guy, and he had flashes of brilliance. When he was doing that nutty thing when he would go on Twitter and post these crazy tweets and then delete them. I mean, he was pretty entertaining. They just they never went all the way with him. So he could be a player somewhere else, though. I don't know if TNA can afford him.
Vince Russo. Apparently, we are in a new era, so they say.
I just love the fact that they say because they say it's a new era. We're supposed to believe it's a new era, but man, I got to tell you, aside from what I thought was very creative at the end of that main event, I like what they did there. I really did like that, but I got to be honest with you guys, the other 2 hours and 50 minutes of this show, I mean, there was just absolutely nothing there for me. But, like I said, I like what they did with that chair stuff at the end and what they did with Reigns. I thought that was very, very good. I'm not going to say it saved the show because I thought there was 2 hours and 50 minutes of a lot of nothing, personally.
I want to preface the show, and really we shouldn't have to preface this. A lot of people will be like, what, you didn't enjoy the show? It's 3 hours long. I don't enjoy 3 hours of anything. If The Walking Dead were 3 hours, I wouldn't like it. And if this writing team could write even one show that was really good for 3 straight hours, I'd probably want them to get an Emmy. But it's really hard to do that. 3 hours is not the ideal time for a wrestling show.
Yeah, and just a lot of filler. You had like Emma and Becky Lynch. I'm guessing that neither of them will be on the Extreme Rules card. You had the Fandango stuff. If they are on the Extreme Rules card, it'll be probably on the pre-show. So it's just a lot of filler for that much time.
Stephanie McMahon came out, and nothing says new era like a Stephanie McMahon opening promo getting interrupted, you guys. That's something completely new. We never saw that in the old era. So they went back and forth. Kevin Owens came out. They had a really bad promo, I thought, really repetitive. All three of them kind of reiterated the same point over and over again. Shane McMahon booked Kevin Owens and Cesaro, a match that we did see a few weeks ago. I wasn't complaining. It's a fine match. But Raj, what did you think of this opening?
Yeah, I mean, it was the same stuff with the McMahon's opening, but I did like that they opened with a Kevin Owens and Cesaro match, and that the opening segment dealt with something other than the top feud. So I did like that, and but they always do these builds to the multiple person title matches the same, where you got the top contender and then that ends in a DQ, and I mean they just did the same build for the women's title match at WrestleMania, and they're doing it again, but. The match itself was good until the ending.
Vince, if you were to build to a multiple person match, how would you go about doing it, or would you with these four guys?
Oh man, I wouldn't with these four guys because I still think there is so much single development to be done with all of them. You know what I mean? I mean, they all need to be built singularly, and there's talent there. I mean, all four of them are multi-talented, with the exception of Miz, because he's been there for a while and has established himself. Cesaro's been hurt and in and out so much, and, Zayn and Owens fairly new. There's so much building to do on an individual level, and but by not doing that and putting all four of them together, I just don't feel like they're building them the way that they really could be.
It's hard for me to understand if Zayn gets the shot, and I love Sami Zayn, how he should get a shot. He lost a title match at WrestleMania. He lost clean in the middle of the ring to Owens last night. So I don't quite understand this. Now, Raj, for the sake of the site, our sponsors, everything like that, I'm going to try to not curse as I talk about this Golden Truth stuff. This started in January. It is May. It is May.
Almost a half a year.
Yeah.
It's got to be the longest running storyline, that hasn't reached a conclusion that I can remember them doing.
Could you imagine if they, during this time, had given this build to that Becky Lynch Emma match that they had just been putting on, like the SmackDown Fallout and the Raw Rebound and all that crap? Just anything else?
Gosh, anything.
I will say that the backstage segment I found a little more entertaining than usual because R-Truth had the selfie stick that was an actual stick, and I don't know, Fandango showed up and started to shake his dong at everybody because that's what Fandango does. I guess that's why they call him Fandango. Tyler Breeze won a match, though. Vince, I know traditionally he's your favorite guy. A little stat for you, Vince. Tyler Breeze was on a 60-plus match losing streak.
No
before
way.
this.
Are you serious?
Including live events, yeah.
Holy crap.
he hadn't won since January 5th.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's good that he got a win,
Well, that tells you about the show being filler. If you got a match where Tyler Breeze gets a win, it shows you the kind of important stuff that's going on. The post pay-per-view shows are where you're supposed to be shooting the hot angles and stuff, and you got Tyler Breeze getting a win.
What's up with Sasha Banks? She hasn't wrestled in a couple of weeks. She hasn't been on TV in a while outside of backstage stuff. I mean,
I think they just don't, they don't really have a program for her yet. I'm guessing they're building.
Even live events, though. She hasn't wrestled live events.
She wasn't on the UK tour?
I think maybe she was, but that was still 2 weeks ago, wasn't it?
They haven't done any live events since the UK tour. So.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I think, Yeah, I mean, it seems like they're building Emma for her, and then she'll transition to Charlotte later this summer.
I just find it super unusual. I mean, I guess I had overlooked that they didn't have live events since then, but yeah, since April 18th, she hasn't wrestled. So since an 8-person tag match. Vince, any lasting thoughts about Golden Truth and Goldust versus Breeze?
Here's the thing, guys. Like this, here's the thing. Stuff like this is why normal people laugh at the wrestling business. If this is on Saturday morning, it's fine. If this is a Saturday morning wrestling show, it's fine. If it's on primetime television, it needs to be really clever and funny, not stupid and silly. That's the problem. If you've got good writers there that can write good comedy and make this clever and comedic, that's one thing. But silly and stupid wrestling at 9 o'clock at night, that's the problem, man. And again, they're all living in this wrestling bubble, and they don't see this because they have no idea what else is on Monday night at 9 o'clock. And that's always the problem with wrestling. And, it's just like I said, if this is Sunday morning USWA, that's fine. You can get away with it when Tom and Jerry is your competition. You cannot get away with that crap at 9 o'clock on Monday night. It's stupid. But,
I can't agree more.
I can't agree more. It just makes you feel so uncool watching it.
Exactly. And you see, Rods, that's the thing. That's the part that makes you, like, embarrassed to be a wrestling fan. Like, oh, why are you guys doing it? We're defending you for a living. Like, we do this for a living. Do you know what we have to do to overcome this? How can you sell this as being good? We can't. We'd have to lie to people.
Are you saying that you didn't enjoy when R-Truth gave Tyler Breeze his do-rag and he was dancing around the ring in it? Let me ask you, would you have liked it more if it were a $75 cashmere beanie that you could get from TrendyButler.com in their fantastic boxes?
I was waiting for you, bro. I was waiting for you. You didn't get me that time. I'm on my toes. Because a lot of people said they were tuning in tonight just to see if you could swerve me again. And I said I will not be swerved again with a Segway.
It's going to happen.
Not tonight.
It's going to happen. Maybe not tonight. Maybe not tonight, but when you least suspect it, my friend. But yeah, if he would have had a $75 cashmere beanie that the good folks at Trendy Butler included in one of the fantastic boxes they sent me, over $200 worth of clothes I got in my box that only cost $65. TrendyButler.com, a great subscription clothing service where you set up your own style profile based on your preferences of color, patterns, what you like to wear, what you don't like to wear. From there, a stylist custom picks the clothes to you, and they send them directly to your door. Only $65, and you get over $150 in designer clothes. I personally looked up what they sent me, and it is some high-priced goods, my friends. Use the code Wrestling10, all caps. Get a great deal from TrendyButler.com. Also, of course, tweet them. Let them know Wrestling Inc. sent you. Vince, your experience paid off in that one.
I was ready. I was ready for you, bro. You got me yesterday, but not today.
It's like, I did a lot of creative writing classes and stuff like that in college, and me and my fiance will be watching a movie, and I'll be like, okay, this person is an undercover cop. They'll reveal it at the end of the movie. I think your history of swerving people really paid off here.
Yeah. There you go.
So next up we had New Day come out. They talked about Enzo Amore's injury. They said that whenever he is back, they'll be waiting there for him. The Vaudevillains came out, got some cheap heat off of the injury, really worked the crowd, got some good heat from the crowd. The Dudley Boys came out, said that the Vaudevillains didn't beat anybody. This brought out Big Cass, who cut a promo and then made a beeline for the Vaudevillains and attacked them. This led to an 8-man tag match. Went a little bit. Big Cass got the hot tag, dominated, got the pin. Vince, I know you're a big fan of Enzo. Fortunately, he's okay. He was at Raw tonight, but he wasn't used. Your thoughts on the vaudevillains using this as heat?
Well, because he's okay, that's all right. If he wasn't okay, obviously he wouldn't be all right. So I didn't mind that. I like seeing a little bit of personality with these vaudevillians, and they're trying stuff out there, and I'm totally cool with that. We talked about them yesterday using Kaz, which they did, and I was glad, and he shined at the end, and all that was good. But the thing I kept asking myself, and I think it was because I think personally the match just went on way too long, because as I'm sitting there watching this match, I just kept asking myself this question over and over and over again. Why do I care about this match? Why do I care about who goes over in this match? Like, there was nothing to care about. And again, that's not on the talent. That's storytelling and that's writing. But, I'm glad they used Kaz. I'm glad they made him shine at the end. But I just think there was no reason to watch this match.
I really thought this match should have been all about the vaudevillains doing everything they could to stay away from Kaz. They should have been terrified of that guy, of that 7-foot monster who was there to avenge his little friend. Raj, how do you think that the vaudevillains have been on the main roster as it compares to their NXT run?
I thought tonight was their best night in a lot of ways. I thought Aiden English was really good in that promo at the beginning. I think this gimmick has a very limited shelf life. It might have already reached it, but Aiden English is trying. He's got some personality. So yeah, I mean, I thought Bubba Ray Dudley was really good with his smack talking during the match. New Day was good, so, and Big Cass getting the win. He was the sentimental favorite here, so I liked it. I thought. Yeah, it didn't have much of a purpose, but it was Big Cass getting revenge. I think they could have built it up a little better, but it served its purpose, and I thought it was good.
One thing I liked, Raj, and either they were doing this on purpose or it was just Bubba trying to entertain the people. Obviously, they were going to be in a program with Enzo and Kaz. That's not going to happen now. What I did enjoy during this match was the way that Bubba, especially Bubba, but and Devon, they were trying to school the vaudevillains. They were trying to teach. Now, I think they can do something with that. I really do. So maybe that's what they're going to do now, being that the Dudleys ain't going to be able to work with Enzo and Kaz, and maybe they're going down that road. I think that could be very, very, very entertaining.
Yeah, the Dudleys mentoring the vaudevillains. There's an odd couple thing there that I think could work.
Yeah.
I'd love to see the vaudevillains use some old antique tables. Put some people through some antique tables, do some good stuff. I think they've been much better on the main roster than they were in NXT. They never really got a chance to show their personality outside of what they have as the gimmick. And Aiden English, it's like he flipped a switch and his personality has really shined through so far. I did like Cass getting that shine at the end as well.
It would have been cool to see Enzo, though, just make a quick appearance or something, because people were so concerned. And when his music hit, you could tell people thought he was coming out, because it dissipated a bit when he didn't. But
I saw a comment in a Facebook group I'm in, and they said that he should have came out in the hospital scrubs.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
And just been like, I don't know what city I'm in, but how you doing? And that could have been that. Up next, we had Emma versus Becky Lynch. And if you do not watch WWE's YouTube, you probably had no idea why this match was happening. They have built up a good little thing on there, but nobody knows what it means. Nobody has any idea. The match went about 5 or 6 minutes, was not very good. Emma ended up winning. Raj, your thoughts on this and why they didn't put any of the feud on TV?
They've got the time. It makes no sense. Instead, you're just treated to make it seem, feel like you're just watching filler again. And that's the big problem with Raw. That's been the big problem for a long time. It's just so much doesn't mean anything, and that's what you felt watching this match.
They keep teasing these secondary women's feuds. They did it when Natalya got attacked several months ago. They did it. They've done it with this. They've done it a couple other times. Vince, why do you think that maybe they're so hesitant to pull the trigger on a women's feud that doesn't involve the title?
I don't know, but here's just such an elementary, issue. You're not going to get somebody over by beating somebody that's not over. I love Becky, and she's a fan favorite, but she hasn't been around long enough or done enough to be over. I'm talking about just time now. So, to give Emma a win over Becky, it doesn't progress Emma because you're still trying to get Becky over. And, that's the problem, man. It's like pick and choose who you want to get over. Make a decision. Which one of these girls do we want to get over? We thought it was Sasha. And like you just said, Sean, we haven't seen her since April 18th. So, okay, Sasha's not there. It's Becky. So you assume, okay, the spotlight's going to go on Becky. Then Becky loses to a third girl in Emma. And it's like, God, man, just pick and choose who you want to go over and go with that person.
My guess would be that they're building Emma up for Sasha, but they should have had some sort of call out or something to tease that direction, as opposed to just appearing, just as complete filler. But, who knows?
Raj, who do you think the Colognes are going to feud with when they start?
Oh, man.
Besides their patience.
Yeah, I mean, I think the vaudevillains, I could see that being, opening match stuff.
Won't they be heels, though? Who cares?
Yeah, who cares?
Who cares? Ambrose Asylum, Stephanie McMahon on the show. Ambrose really went at Stephanie McMahon, asking her why she isn't taking care of her kids. She's missed birthdays, things like that, and Shane McMahon was supposedly there for his kids and all that stuff. Stephanie responds by canceling the Ambrose Asylum and that brings out Chris Jericho. They brawl. Chris Jericho then breaks a potted plant over Dean Ambrose's head. What did this segment do for you, Vince?
Made me turn to the Giant Red game, and my Giants beat your Reds, as a matter of fact, just so you know, Sean.
Did they?
Yes, they did.
They blow that lead. There is no way.
The final was 9-6. Sean, can I point out the two basic flaws to you here? What did we talk about yesterday? We talked about yesterday we made Vince McMahon the biggest heel in the company to get the baby faces over. So what happens here? Finally, Ambrose gets a win yesterday over Jericho. So Stephanie McMahon buries him by taking away the talk show. Now, keep in mind, we already established it. Shane gave him that talk show. So where's Shane McMahon? You see what I'm saying? So Ambrose wins a match yesterday. Leaves with his tail tucked between his legs because Stephanie takes his show away, and then he gets laid out by Jericho. It's like, my God, why did you put him over last night?
Yeah, and you saw Steph a few times. You didn't see Shane again, so that was weird. When the whole storyline is that they're both running it, and then Shane just disappears after the opening segment. But yeah, I thought the potted plant thing was. I thought him hitting him with the plant was funny. But again, Stephanie talking down to wrestlers and dressing them down never does him any favors.
It's terrible, man. It doesn't do anything for anybody.
So the potted plant is gone for now. I kind of like the Ambrose Asylum in comparison to some of the other shows that they do, but it is what it is. Up next, we had a #1 contenders battle royal. Apollo Crews, Victor, Damian Sandow, Zack Ryder, Stardust, Sheamus, and a bunch of other nerds in a match. Honestly, I thought that the last half of this battle royal was really fun to watch, even though there's no reason to really care about anybody in it. Rusev ended up winning. The League of Nations, which worked together even though they broke up last week, kind of imploded. Zack Ryder almost won, but Rusev tossed him out. We got Cena coming back at the end of the month. Do you think that Rusev's going to win this title and then maybe turn around and drop it to Cena, Vince?
Oh, God, I can't see them going back to that. I mean, I just can't. I mean, I can't see that. What I would have liked to see them do, and see, this is there, especially in a battle royal, there are so many ways to kickstart a couple of feuds and with a couple of guys. What I would have liked to see is I would have loved to see Rusev eliminate Del Rio and then eliminate Sheamus and let him be in there with Zack Ryder, then let those two guys come back and from the outside let them eliminate Rusev. Now I like Rusev as a babyface with Lana. Now you have Rusev at odds against those guys, and now you got Zack Ryder back in a program with Kalisto. I mean, I would have liked to see something like that, but yeah, I mean, my gosh, they had Rusev red hot with that U.S. title, and they totally dropped the ball. And okay, are we gonna do that thing all over again? I don't know.
Yeah, I can't see them going back to him. But I think I like the choice of having Rusev win, just because I think he could use it. He could use he could use something right now because he's got charisma. He's got the talent. So so I thought that was good. I was worried that they were going to go with Zack Ryder, and that would just be another step back for this title. So I liked it. And then you kind of sense the sense of relief when Sheamus was eliminated. I think a lot of people thought Sheamus was going to win. So.
Yeah, all on board with Rusev winning. I like that. Up next, Charlotte addressing the Little Nate stuff. They actually had a Little Nate video package that they aired from 1999. Vince, were you in WCW for any of that?
No, that was before I got there. But I remember it. I watched it.
I can't even grill you about that now. Come on. Could have lied to me, Vince. But
you know what's funny? You got to think about. They schooled everybody about Little Nate, which I thought was good. I thought the footage and all that was good. But how many people might not be aware of the Montreal Screwjob? So I'm surprised if you're going to show Little Nate, how are you not showing the Montreal Screwjob, bro? That was 20 years ago.
I agree.
You know.
I mean, we talked about that last night. They're targeting a demographic that is younger than the Montreal Screwjob.
Right, exactly.
Charlotte or Natalya came out. There was the tease with Ric Flair and the sharpshooter and all that stuff. Backstage, Stephanie McMahon announced that there would be a submission match with Ric Flair banned from ringside at Extreme Rules. Raj, any chance of Natalya taking the title?
No, I don't see that at all. But when Natalya said that Ric Flair hired a referee to screw her, I thought that sounded like one of Vince's old angles.
Oh man!
But, I got to tell you, so I don't know if this is just me. I'm going to ask you guys because you're guys. But I'm telling you, man, Charlotte looks good in street clothes. I think she looks better in street clothes than she does in wrestling gear.
Oh, without a doubt.
She looks sexy when she comes out in street clothes. I mean, she looked good tonight, I thought.
We also had a backstage
segment. You can't comment on that because you're engaged or something, and your fiance is going to beat you up if you say Charlotte's attractive.
I agree. And she only chipped my tooth one time, buddy, when we sparred. Okay. I said I think that Charlotte looks much better in street clothes. Yeah.
Okay.
I said that, Vince. Come on, don't bust my balls.
I prefer wrestling gear myself, so I'm gonna have to disagree with you guys there.
All right.
We did have a backstage segment with Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, AJ Styles. Roman Reigns interrupted. Styles had to hold them back. The Usos intervened. 6-man tag was set up for later that night, which did happen. We did get that match. Fun match. The ending, I thought was unbelievable. I thought it was really good. I have no idea what's going on, and I love it, Vince.
Yeah, no, very well done. It was very, very well done at the end. I got to say something, Sean. Can I get this off my chest?
You're on a podcast. Of course you can say something.
For people that criticize Roman Reigns, I got to be honest. Is there anybody that works harder than that guy in the ring? I swear to God, man, that guy, he is such a hard freaking worker. And with everything that's been thrown his way, man, I just give that guy all the credit in the world. That's why I'm a huge mark for him. I have no problem saying I'm a mark for him. He always seems to be 100% of everything he's doing. And 50% of the time he can't be into it. He's got to be saying, are you serious? You really want me to do that? He is. But, man, every single time he's just very believable. The ending of this with the chair and AJ was brilliant. I'll use the word brilliant. It was very well done.
Vince, for people that don't like Roman Reigns, there will never be an explanation good enough. At first it was, well, he's got 5 moves. Well, he's got more than 5 moves now. Well, he's not good in the ring. Well, he had what people called a 4-star match with The Big Show last year at Extreme Rules, and then I had people saying, well, it was a weapons match. Anybody can have great matches with weapons. Well, then why aren't everybody having great matches with weapons? Why aren't everybody having great matches with the Big Show? Then it's, well, he has to be carried to a good match. Well, there are plenty of guys that can't be carried to a good match. Then it's, his mic skills are bad. Then they limit him to a couple of minutes. And, well, what are you complaining about here? He's not done anything ridiculous on the mic. Then it's, well, he's too much of a babyface. Now his persona is completely different. Raj, I think that he's been infinitely more tolerable over the past month since WrestleMania. How do you feel?
Well, I think Reigns has been kind of a scapegoat just for the bad writing and booking decisions that WWE has been doing. Reigns has got all the tools. He's got he's got the person. He's got a good personality when he's away from the scripted promos. You look at his old stuff in NXT. The guy has all the tools. You just got to let him go, and you got to be consistent. Just changing his character just constantly is just not doing him any favors, and fans see through that. But yeah, he's just a victim of bad booking and lazy writing.
Man, I tell you, when that rating came in last week, 2-2, I could not believe the people that were actually blaming Reigns for the low rating. I'm like, you cannot be a wrestling fan and say that with a straight face. You can't. That's totally ridiculous.
We ran the YouTube viewership things, and there's nobody that has gotten more attention than Roman Reigns by a long shot.
Well, it's not just that. It's every year their numbers drop because they don't. First of all, they treat all the part-timers as the big stars at WrestleMania. So the next night, when you're back to your regular crew, you make people feel like, oh, now it's all the unimportant guys out there. And every year, you see the rating from the show after WrestleMania to 4 weeks in. And last year was a bigger drop than this, so it actually wasn't as big a drop as last year. I mean, now they're reaching record low numbers, but percentage-wise, the drop was more last year. They just don't. They can't hook viewers. They can't create new stars.
Could you imagine if a Stone Cold Steve Austin showed up and interrupted a Dean Ambrose or a Kevin Owens if Ambrose is a heel, and one of them got over on Austin, the type of. Just that would help somebody so much, and it never happens. It never happens. These guys who are 50, 55 years old and say that they will not wrestle again are always portrayed as being tougher than the guys who are actively wrestling now, and the booking doesn't help either.
Yeah, it's like when Edge did that for Seth Rollins. When Seth Rollins was gonna break his neck, and Edge played the victim there, and kind of. I don't know if passing the torch is the right word, but he's selling for the new star, and they just don't do that enough.
The end of this match was Styles, Gallows, and Anderson winning when Styles hit a phenomenal forearm on Jimmy Uso. Gallows and Anderson held Reigns there, tried to make Styles hit him with a chair. Styles refused, but then the Usos ran in, hit Styles with a chair, led to a big Pier 6 brawl. Styles ended up hitting the Usos with chairs, then got attacked by Roman Reigns. This was really good stuff, Vince.
Yeah, no, absolutely, bro. I don't want to say it saved the show, bro, because like you said, Sean, it's a 3-hour show, bro, and 2 hours and 45 minutes, of which at least 2 hours and 15 minutes of that is filler. It didn't save the show, but at least they went off on a high note. It was far and away the best thing they did all night, and it was laid out to perfection. It was really, really well done.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the whole feud would be resolved if they just watched a replay of everything. Then all the misunderstandings would be cleared up. But that being said, I thought it was a really strong angle to close the show, and I'm into this feud, and I'd like to see AJ turn heel and go all the way with the Bullet Club. I think that'd be a nice twist. But yeah, it was really strong. This actually moved the show to a thumbs up for me overall. From I was leaning towards a thumbs down before.
Did you all see how hard the Usos hit AJ Styles with that chair? Creamed him.
Yeah.
He's going to need some ddpyoga.com/Wrestling Inc. I think Vince saw it coming.
I saw it coming, bro. I'm on my toes. You got me yesterday.
I missed that one.
Yeah.
AJ Styles, a big proponent, a big advocate of ddpyoga.com/wrestling Inc. Used it to get ready for his ROH Final Battle and Wrestle Kingdom matches when his back completely locked up on him. He didn't know if he was going to be able to wrestle, but ddpyoga.com/wrestling Inc. helped him. It's helped me personally. It's helped John Cena personally. It's helped a ton of people on the roster. As Vince mentioned, even Stevie Richards, he showed up on TV mid-40s and did an ROH TV title match with Roderick Strong. And if you're wrestling Roderick Strong, your back is going to get jacked up with all those back breakers. ddpyoga.com/wrestling Inc. DDP's been in Australia for the last week. He did a DDP Yoga workshop, screened the resurrection of Jake the Snake, which you can check out now on Vudu, Amazon, Google Play, PlayStation Network, iTunes, video on demand everywhere. Check out ddpyoga.com/wrestling Inc. Of course, let him know the Wrestling Inc. podcast sent you. Vince, I got to give you credit. It's gonna take. I'm gonna have to get really crafty.
Yeah, no, you got me, bro. Yeah, you got me. You got me good yesterday, bro, and I can't let that happen again. And then I wouldn't be the master of the swerve. You would be.
Did you watch the Conor McGregor stuff I sent you this morning?
I know. I saw that. I got it, but I have not watched it yet. But thank you very much. I will watch it tomorrow. It's on top of my list.
Now we got to wait until next Monday. Oh, I want to say this, by the way. Kalisto did commentary during that Battle Royal. He is the anti-Conor McGregor. He's terrible.
Yeah, see, that's another thing. I mean, think about it. Why would you put the guy on? Why would you do that?
They got to know.
They got to know. You have to know. Like, man, you talk about not protecting your own talent, man. Oof.
Yeah,
that was horrible.
That was one of the worst guest commentary spots I've heard in a long time.
Like, he would have been a great face in, like, the 60s when it was like, gosh, gee golly, you guys, let's go drink some milk. He would have been great back then. Not now. No way. I fear for what that may have done for him in the future because, oh, my God, just complete void of anything remotely resembling charisma. And he's so good in the ring.
Yeah, he's great in the ring, but he's no Rey Mysterio, and they really want him to be.
But what about, by the way, I'm still impressed. If Ryback went out with a little bit of goodwill, he saved Kalisto's life last night on that dive. I can't get over that. But, yeah, looks like no more Ryback Kalisto matches for us. But, Vince, what would you rate this show out of a 10?
Out of a 10? Bro, I'm going to tell you, it was bordering goose egg. No doubt about it. But the end was that good that I'm going to go from a goose egg to a 5 because that's how the end was. Pat Patterson. I mean, Pat Patterson would book something like that. It was that good. And like I said, it was a big goose egg for me, but that ending was very good, so I'll meet him in the middle with a 5.
Vince, before we let you go, and you know what? Just to reiterate on the Charlotte thing, you know what I think would make her look better?
The beanie from Trendy Butler? Was that it? Yeah.
You're on it today,
bro. I can't believe it. I know Raj gets mad when I talk long because I know Raj.
No, I don't. No, I don't. There are a couple of questions for you, so I wanted to get.
Okay, but I just want to say this to Mr. Sean Sapp, Raj, if you don't mind. I can't believe you don't send me that cashmere beanie to get all of us over huge with Trendy Butler because I will wear it during this podcast, bro.
You know what? I might do that. It's an expensive beanie. I kind of want to hold on to it.
I saw them on Twitter today. I'm going to DM them. I'm going to follow them, and I'm going to tell them that you won't give me the beanie to promote on the show.
They like me.
Yeah, I know.
They like me. But, yeah, Raj, you said Vince has there's a couple of questions for Vince.
Yeah, there's a couple of questions for Vince. Someone's asking who you think is the most believable star on the current roster. That's
Reigns. Period. Well, when Lesnar's not there, Reigns.
Yeah.
Not Tyler Breeze.
Oh gosh.
Someone's asking how is it that Shane has been allowed to run Raw, which he never earned, and yet was calling the shots at Payback. I'm not sure if I get that question.
Well, you'd have to tell us, and we'd both know because he should have been gone a month ago. So I have no idea.
Here's the best one. How do I apply to be Russo's assistant?
They want to be my assistant.
I had somebody once say that they just wanted to be your crony.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, I wouldn't mind a crony.
They
I
just
wouldn't mind
wanted
a crony.
They
I'd like a
just said
crony.
they wanted to be your sidekick that like did all your dirty work for you.
Yeah, I don't like assistants. I'm not that kind of guy. I'd rather have a crony.
Somebody said, was there a moment tonight that stood out as uniquely new era? Tyler Breeze won a match.
This is going the way of the new generation, and that's not a good sign.
I just don't know why they do that to themselves. You know what I mean? Like, why would you do that to yourself? Why would you say this is a new era and go out there the first night and present nothing different? You do it to yourself. You bring the criticism amongst yourself. Just don't say anything.
And then a couple hours later have Michael Cole practically apologizing at the table that you have a mature-themed cartoon on your network and say, new era, but by the way, we're really, really sorry for this adult-themed content that we're putting on the network. Make sure you set up parental controls.
Well, the last time they did that I can remember was when they shifted to the Attitude Era, and there really was a change, and it actually was different. So that made sense. You're the same booking, the same 50-50 booking, it's the same stars. John Cena will be back in a couple weeks. So, it's just. It makes no sense.
Any word on when Lesnar's coming back? Do you guys know?
I think he's working a house show next month, and so he'll probably be back shortly after that, so probably July.
They need him back bad.
Yeah.
Also, there hasn't been as much blatant insult. Like Stephanie verbally insulting the fans' intelligence over the past couple of weeks. But, there's still been plenty of underlying insulting of the intelligence. Vince, you want to tell us about the brand before we boot you off?
Bro, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Unless you're an absolute egomaniac, why would you Instagram? Instagram is when you take the camera with yourself, right, Sean? Because
Yes.
You're a young, hip kid.
Yes.
Unless you're a total egomaniac, why would you Instagram midnight workouts and put them up online?
That's a good question.
I want everybody to know, because I watched Stephanie's Instagram public workout, to the midnight workout, okay? I am doing this week, and I'll let you know when, I'm doing an 11:55 public workout right here. I'm going to podcast it. I'm going to take my shirt off.
Oh, no.
Stephanie was using 40-pound dumbbells. I'm going to use 4-pound dumbbells. And if anybody's interested, I invite you to tune in.
Raj, you got to get that Wrestling Inc. shirt to him ASAP.
Hey, they've been sent.
Mine too?
Yes, sir.
It is a new era, Vince.
It is a new
It's
era.
a new era of Wrestling Inc. Tomorrow I have on Podcast 1 my first part of my interview with Mickey James, which I think is very, very good. So you could see that tomorrow on Podcast 1. You could tune in, 5 days a week on Podcast 1 and just go to russosbrand.com to get more information.
Vince, thank you as always. We will see you on Monday.
So Sean, this week I'm going to get the Wrestling Inc. shirt and the beanie in the mail the same week. Very nice. Very nice.
I will not confirm nor deny that.
Bro, I will wear the beanie during my shirtless midnight workout.
Are you trying to make us lose sponsors, Vince?
No, I don't want that to happen, of course. All right, go ahead, you guys. Finish up. Thanks, you guys.
Take care, Vince.
Take care.
Raj, are we allowed to reveal what we're doing this Thursday?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Maybe something cool coming this Thursday, you guys. Also, programming note, of course, if you all want to, well, you all should, not want to, even if you don't want to, even if it's the last thing you want to do, check me and Rob McCarron out Wednesday night, 10 p.m., the non-Monday Night Raw podcast. We talk Ring of Honor, NXT, New Japan, Lucha Underground, all that stuff. We'll be previewing this weekend's Ring of Honor pay-per-view. It's on a Sunday night, so join us for that live viewing party. We have a few more questions here, Raj. Somebody says, don't you guys think that Roman Reigns shaving that mop on his head and getting new entrance music is beyond overdue?
I think the hair is cool. But I would definitely say change the ring gear. Steve Austin mentioned that. We mentioned that in an article a couple days ago. But I totally think he should change his ring gear.
They should change his ring gear and probably his theme song too. It's still the Shield song.
Yeah, I mean that doesn't bother me as much, but I mean I think they need to turn him full of full percent heel. And if you do that, you could easily change his theme music and change just kind of give him a makeover.
Let's see. Somebody says, with Rusev becoming #1 contender for the U.S. title, do you see him winning it back and getting another big singles push? Maybe even a returning Cena at Money in the Bank for redemption from last year, Raj?
No, I don't think they're going to go back to that. I think they rarely go back to stuff like that. So I don't see them doing that. I'd like to see Rusev with a good strong run and get back to where he was, because the League of Nations, he's just been mishandled over the last year. So it'd be good to see him get back near the top level.
I'm still holding out hope they'll do the explanation thing. He says, I needed Lana, I needed my head straight, something like that. Same guy asks, will Sami Zayn have a relevant feud outside of Kevin Owens ever? I'm sure he will.
Well, it depends how many what feuds you consider relevant, because there's just so much that doesn't mean anything after a couple weeks. So who knows? We'll have to see how they use him. He hasn't been used well so far, in my opinion.
Somebody asks, do you book Orton as a face, authority heel, or a lone wolf when he returns? I don't know what you do with him.
I think you got to go heel, just because you got so many faces right now. I mean, if Bray Wyatt, if they continue with that when he comes back, you really got no heels. So, yeah.
And Rollins too. Rollins and Cena are about to come back.
Yeah, and Rollins, who knows? I mean, he'll definitely be a babyface when he first comes back, but I don't know if that'll last. I mean, does he have that babyface promo skill that he can cut a babyface promo and people will be on his side? One thing that's so great about him, he's so snarky and sleazy as a heel. So not having that, we'd have to see.
Yeah, I miss Seth Rollins on this show badly. Badly. Are you guys enjoying the Reigns AJ feud? I'm loving the Reigns AJ feud.
Yeah, I think it's the best. I think it's the best thing they've done with Reigns since he beat down Triple H.
I agree. I think I think we might have a couple more questions on Twitter. Ooh, here's a good one. We asked this a couple weeks ago, but Raj wasn't there. What was the first news story you ever broke?
Oh, geez. Gosh, this would have been back in the 90s. I think, when there was something with Spike Dudley, and there was something with Rob Van Dam when he was in ECW, but I'm forgetting what it was. Oh man, I can't remember. It's been so long.
I think my first for this site was the finish of Night of Champions when I was there, the Rollins Lesnar stuff. Also, the same person asked, and they asked this a couple weeks ago, what are you most proud of in your journalistic career, Raj?
Oh man, I don't.
Running Wrestling Inc. maybe.
Yeah, just this site's not supposed to be CNN. It's don't take it too seriously. It's a fun site. We got cool stories and stuff. So I pride myself in having something that's what wrestling is supposed to be, and that's just a lot of fun and cool.
It is. I have an insane amount of fun working here. My favorite thing I've done is the Muhammad Hassan thing. That was something I really looked forward to doing and always wondered myself. And luckily, Raj's site gave me the platform to do that. Raj, before we go, I want to know what you think of Conor McGregor right now and these tweets he put out today. Well, I should give the rundown first. He said that Nate Diaz made more excuses than he did for the first 8 minutes, or made more excuses for the first 8 minutes of the fight than he did for the last 2 minutes. Said he was going to come in lighter, that he was going to beat Diaz. Things were going to be different, and that the UFC cost themselves a lot of money. Sorry to cut you off, but yeah, needed to give a little background there.
Right, yeah, and he's starting to become Chael Sonnen. And Chael Sonnen with that first Anderson Silva fight, you believed everything he was saying, and then you just realized he would just say anything he wants to say for attention.
Yeah,
Conor's not there yet, but he's really been unraveling the last couple of weeks and just looking kind of sad. So the dude's still the top star. The fight with Diaz will the rematch will probably be the biggest pay-per-view of the year. It'll beat UFC 200. It's sad that it worked out this way because I was looking forward to that more than Jones Cormier too. I mean, I'm still excited for that fight as well, but this is one of the situations everyone lost out on. But it's a teaching moment for Conor.
Yeah, he needs to win over Nate Diaz in the worst way after this.
Yeah, if he gets beat again, I think his stock drops a lot.
I do too, and even with his stock dropping, Chael Sonnen was still a little bit of a draw anyway, so that's good. He did great numbers on Fox Sports 1 when they really needed him to. Yeah. So he'll always be a draw to some degree, but you have to wonder how much he really wants to do this based on what we've seen over the past several weeks. So, that UFC does have a show this Sunday, Raj. Mother's Day battle between two teammates, Alistair Overeem and Andrei Arlovski. Who do you have in that fight?
I got to go with Overeem. Arlovski had a good run there for a bit, but I just think Overeem's the better all-around fighter.
I do too. Overeem is really underrated on the ground. His ground and pound is vicious. I can't wait for that fight though. It's an afternoon card. I don't think they do that enough in the UFC. I love afternoon cards. Really good stuff. And of course, as I mentioned, Sunday night, Ring of Honor, New Japan, Global Wars. Join us for the live viewing party. I have part 1 of my interview with Christopher Daniels going up tomorrow, so be sure to check that out as well. Raj, anything to leave the people with before we go?
I think that's it.
TrendyButler.com. Use the code Wrestling10, all caps, ddpyoga.com/Wrestling Inc. Myself and Rob McCarran are here 10 p.m. on Wednesday night. Guys, as always, thank you for joining us. We are out.